Dear students, in the previous video we found an expression for work done by a torque. See, we shown up to dw1 is equal to tau 1 d theta. Up to this we have did. See here, dw1 is work done by the force F1. So if more than one forces are working, then the corresponding torques, if we have forces F1, F2, so on, then we have corresponding torques tau 1, tau 2, tau 3, so on. Then we write expression for work done as dw is equal to dw1 plus dw2 plus so on. dw1 is tau 1 d theta, dw2 is tau 2 d theta plus so on. Taking d theta common, tau 1 plus tau 2 plus tau 3 so on. So sum of the individual torques gives tau here d theta. So dw is equal to tau d theta. So this is the expression for work done by torque. Let us compare this. See, this is for rotational motion. Let us compare, let us see its linear analog. That is, in linear motion, the expression for work done is, see, in place of torque we have force, and in place of angular displacement we have linear displacement. Now let us derive Newton's second law for rotation about a fixed axis. Just now we have derived an expression for work done by torque. So this is the expression for work done by torque. Now rate of work done. Rate of work done is nothing but work done by time. That is dw by dt. So on both sides let us write, let us divide the equation by dt. So now dw by dt is equal to tau d theta by dt means angular velocity. This is the rate of work done. So now let us write kinetic energy of a rotating body K is equal to half I omega square. Now rate of increase of kinetic energy. So that is nothing but dk by dt. So writing d by dt on both sides. Differentiating with respect to time, say 1 by 2i constants, omega square differentiated give 2 omega, and omega with respect to time d omega by dt. 2 and 2 gets cancelled. So dk by dt is equal to I omega d omega by dt. But this is rate of change of angular velocity, that is angular acceleration. Therefore I omega alpha. Say this is second equation. Now work energy theorem. According to According to Varkan's theorem, work done is equal to change in kinetic energy or increase of kinetic energy. See, dividing both sides by time, work done by time taken is equal to increase of Ke by time taken. Dividing both sides by time. So this is nothing but rate of work done. And this is nothing but rate of increase of K. Rate of work done is shown in the first equation, tau omega. Rate of increase of kinetic energy is I omega alpha. Omega gets cancelled. So we get tau is equal to I alpha. So this is Newton's second law. This is Newton's second law for rotational motion. And its analog in linear motion. Its analog in linear motion, we know, in place of for linear motion. In place of torque, force comes. In place of Im comes. In place of angular acceleration, linear acceleration comes. So for linear motion, the Newton's second law is F is equal to ma, and for rotational motion, tau is equal to I alpha. Already we defined angular momentum of a single particle about a point, that is about this origin. How we define angular momentum? L is equal to r cross p, where r is the position vector of the particle and p is linear momentum. So in this way we defined for single particle about origin. Now afterwards we defined angular momentum of a system of particles about a point, again about origin. Total angular momentum for a system of particles is nothing but summation of this. So afterwards, now we want to find angular momentum of a rigid body about its axis of rotation. So here, so this is a rigid body, and this body is rotating about z-axis, and as the body is rotating about z-axis, a particle inside the rigid body describes a circle around the axis of rotation. And here we are going to derive expression for angular momentum, total angular momentum of rigid body, and we are going to obtain this as a sum of angular momentum about z-axis. Total angular momentum is equal to angular momentum about z-axis plus angular momentum perpendicular to axis of rotation. This is angular momentum about axis of rotation, and this is perpendicular to the axis of rotation. And afterwards, this is the general expression. Afterwards, for a rigid body which is symmetric about axis of rotation, if the rigid body is symmetric about axis of rotation, then L perpendicular component becomes 0. Therefore, then total angular momentum becomes just its component along z-axis, and that is I omega k. So we are going to obtain this expression now. Now let us find angular momentum of a rigid body about its axis of rotation. So this is the rigid body. Here we have taken a single particle first. So angular momentum of a single particle at P. So that is defined as L is equal to R cross P. L is equal to R cross P. Or P means linear momentum, mass into velocity. So in this way we define angular momentum of a single particle that is at P. But from this figure, see this R vector is the sum of OC and CP. OC plus CP gives OP. OP is a vector sum of OC and CP. OP means R. So OC plus CP. Let us substitute this in first equation. We get L is equal to OC plus CP cross MV. So L is equal to OC cross MV plus CP cross MV. Say this is third equation. Now let us find in which, say this is angular momentum, this is angular momentum. Now let us say in which direction it is. OC cross MV. See, OC means this one. Here mass is scalar. Just let us consider V only. See here V vector is in this direction. So this is V vector. V and momentum both are in the same direction because mass is scalar. So in this direction is the velocity. So now OC cross MV. So this is, now let us show this OC cross MV here. OC is along Z axis. So here let us take OC. This is OC. So parallel to this, same magnitude parallel to this. This is OC. And OC cross V. This is V. So now OC vector and V vector. See, OC is vertical, velocity vector is horizontal because this circle is in horizontal plane. To this circle, at any point velocity is a tangent. Here in this direction, here in this direction, here in this direction. So the velocity vector, since circle is a horizontal plane, the velocity vector lies in the horizontal plane only. So V is horizontal and OC is vertical. Now let us imagine a plane formed by OC and V. Now let us move right handed screw from OC to V. From OC to V. So if we move in this direction, see the screw moves from in this plane. If screw is moved from OC to, see this is a vertical plane, this is a vertical plane, and if a screw is moved from OC to V, the screw moves in this direction. The screw moves in this direction. So if the screw moves in this direction, the screw moves in this direction. So L is in this direction here. As it is moved clockwise, screw advances to left hand side. So now the angular momentum is perpendicular to axis of rotation. Therefore, this first term shows us perpendicular component. Now Cp cross mv. So this is Cp and this is V. This V velocity can be taken. See, let us shift the now to find Cp cross V. Let us shift the Cp in the same line to right hand side. Suppose this is Cp and this is V, velocity vector. Now let us form a plane. See, this is the plane formed by Cp and V. See, Cp is a horizontal vector, velocity also horizontal vector. So the plane formed by Cp and V is a horizontal plane. Now if right-handed screw is moved from Cp to V, so in this direction, if the screw is moved, this is anti-clockwise, so it will move up, perpendicular to the plane, so that automatically becomes z-axis. So the angular momentum will be along z-axis. So in this way, first term shows perpendicular component, second term shows along the rotation axis term. See, this is along the axis of rotation, this is perpendicular to the axis of rotation, and this is for a single particle. For rigid body, we take summation of all the particles inside the rigid body. Like this we take. Now let us consider the first term, that is summation of perpendicular components. See here already this side the L value, see this is OC cross V. OC cross V gave L in this direction towards axis of rotation. Now let us consider diametrically an opposite point here. Here the velocity vector is in this direction. Here the velocity vector will be in this direction. In this direction. So now CP. Let us shift the CP here. Suppose this is CP. So if this, sorry, here what is there here? OC. So this is OC. OC. This is OC. OC is vertical and velocity vector is horizontal. Now the plane formed by these two is a vertical plane. This is a vertical plane. And as a right-handed screw is moved from OC to V, from OC to V clockwise, it moves in this direction. In this direction. It means when the particle was here, its perpendicular component was to left hand side, and when the particle came diametrically to this opposite point, here the angular momentum perpendicular component is to right hand side. Now the sum of the two components, see right side is taken positive, left side is taken negative. So plus L perpendicular minus L perpendicular is equal to 0. So in this way you can take any two pairwise points here and here, here and here. So any two pairs which are diametrically opposite, for any two diametrically opposite points, perpendicular L value becomes 0. For any two diametrically opposite points, see in the are opposite to each other. Hence the sum becomes 0. So in this way this component is becoming 0. This component is becoming 0. Now let us consider this value. Let us consider summation Lz. Summation Lz. See here Lz is Cp cross Mv. Cp cross Mv. And here see Cp is nothing but perpendicular distance of the particle. See our particle is, single particle is at P point, and Cp is nothing but perpendicular distance of the particle from the axis of rotation. See this is R perpendicular. Cp is nothing but R perpendicular. are perpendicular, and see now let us consider magnitudes. Cp is a vector here, its magnitude is r perpendicular, and V is a vector and its magnitude is V is equal to r omega. So here r is r perpendicular, V is equal to r omega. So now here the cross product of these two vectors is along z axis, and along z axis the unit vector is k. Therefore you can write this as Cp mv k. Now Cp, substituting these values, Lz is equal to Cp value is r perpendicular, m V value r omega k. This is equal to mr square omega mr square omega k. Lz is equal to. Now let us take see here you are considering this second term Cp cross mv, Lz is equal to Cp cross mv, a cross b means ab sin theta, like that we are not writing, but here see Cp magnitude taken here and mv magnitude taken here, and cross product of this vector and this vector. See, the cross product of this vector and this vector by right handed rule was along the axis of rotation, along the z axis, and along the z axis it is the unit vector is k. Therefore here we write k. But Cp value is perpendicular distance r perpendicular and V is equal to r omega. Substituting the values in this, we get this much. Now taking summation on both sides, taking summation on both sides. But summation of mi r perpendicular square, this is nothing but moment of inertia, m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square, like that. So this is equal to I value, here omega, here k, and summation of, see, Lz is for single particle. If you take summation of all particles, then you get capital Lz, capital Lz. Here for single particle we wrote this, and for rigid body we wrote summation on both sides. The summation of L is nothing but capital L, capital L is equal to, this can be written as capital L perpendicular plus this can be written as Lz, like this. See, suppose this is the fourth equation. This is the fourth equation. Now substituting values in fourth equation. See here L is equal to, see L perpendicular becoming 0 here. Summation of small elements capital L, that is becoming 0. Here LZ, L is equal to LZ means I omega k, I omega k. So now taking the magnitudes, we can write L is equal to I omega. L is equal to I omega. But one thing we have to remember is, see, the summation of L perpendicular components becomes 0 only for rigid body, only for a rigid body that is symmetric about axis of rotation. Only when the rigid body is symmetric about the axis of rotation, only then L perpendicular will be 0. And for this such bodies only we get L is equal to I omega. Explain the principle of conservation of angular momentum with examples. Statement for conservation of angular momentum, we know when external torque acting on a rigid body is 0, when external torque acting on a rigid body is 0, then its total angular momentum will be constant. See, we already know tau is equal to dl by dt. See, this is analogous to Newton's second law. In the linear motion, F is equal to dp by dt. F is equal to dp by dt for linear motion. Newton's second law for linear motion is F is equal to dp by dt. This already you know. So just like this, in place of force here tau came, in place of linear momentum here angular momentum came. So tau is equal to dl by dt. If the external torque on a symmetric rigid body is 0, that is when dl by dt is 0, then L is equal to constant. That is conservation of angular momentum. Now, but for a symmetric rigid body, the L value, just now we derived the value. For a symmetric for a rigid body which is symmetric about a fixed axis, L is I omega. So in place of L, let us write I omega, and that is constant. Now omega is equal to constant by I. If this is taken as constant of proportionality, omega will be inversely proportional to I. But I is defined as summation of mi Ri square. So that you can write this as Now omega inversely proportional to 1 by summation mi Ri square. Here omega is inversely proportional to perpendicular distance square. So let us understand this example. Now we are considering the first example. See here, a person is holding dumbbells in his hands, standing on a turntable. So when the dumbbells are closer to his body, the perpendicular distance is less. If the perpendicular distance is less, his I value will be less. If I value is less, see here, omega inversely proportional to I. If I value is less, omega will be more. So omega is 10 radians per second. With this angular velocity, he rotates. Now, if he stretches his hands like this, the masses are moved away. From the axis of rotation, the perpendicular distances of the masses is more. If R increases, I value increases. If I value increases, omega decreases. So if I value increases, omega decreases. So here he rotates slowly. Now a second example is there. In this example, a diver jumps from a diving board with both the legs and hands kept far off from the body. The diver then brings the hands and legs closer to the body, decreasing I and increasing omega. The diver makes rotations in air. See, when he rises up from the diving board, see, he makes his hands and legs come closer together. When hands and legs come closer together, R value decreases. When R value decreases, omega value increases. That's why in the air he makes 1 or 2 rotations. And when he nears the water, he again stretches his legs and hands far off. By stretching the legs and hands far off, R value increases from the center of mass of his body. So when R value increases, omega decreases. Here, when he nears the water, legs and hands are stretched. Stretched means R value so here, when he nears the water, legs and hands are stretched so that I increases. Why I increases means I is equal to mi r I square. The perpendicular distance from the axis of rotation increases. So when I increases, omega decreases. So when angular speed decreases, he doesn't make any rotations. He gets into the water like an arrow. Let us consider rolling motion. Here a disc is rolling on floor. The disc is having radius r. See, when a disc is rolling on a floor, it is having two types of motion. It is moving from one place to another place, means it is having translational motion, and it is rotating about its axis of rotation. So it is having rotational motion. Simultaneously it is having two types of motions, translational motion and rotational motion. See, VCM. VCM means velocity of center of mass. As the disk is moving on floor, its center of mass moves in a horizontal straight line with some velocity, and that velocity is VCM. So VCM means velocity of center of mass, and also it is translational velocity of disk. Next, VR. VR means linear velocity due to rotation, and that is V is equal to R omega. V is equal to R omega. See, this is the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. Now, any particle in disk will have these two types of velocities. Since it is moving from one place to another place, it will have translational velocity, and it is rotating with some angular speed. Therefore, corresponding to this angular speed, it will have certain amount of linear speed. So that's why it is having two types of speeds. So any particle in disk will have these two types of velocities. Therefore, the resultant velocity will be VCM plus VR. VCM plus VR. Now you see here the disk is in touch with floor at PO, and PO is momentarily at rest. With respect to PO point, the center of mass C will describe a circle around P0, and here to that circles, so it will try to move like this. To this, VCM becomes tangential velocity or linear velocity, and that is V is equal to R omega. So here VCM is nothing but R omega. Now let us consider three different positions. First, let us consider PO. At position PO. At position PO. See here, at any position, whether it is P0, P1 or P2, velocity, any particle, its velocity of a particle is sum of VCM and VR. So here VCM is, see, it is moving to right hand side. Therefore here VCM, we write VCM is equal to R omega plus R omega. This is plus because to right hand side. Next, VR is linear velocity due to rotation. So linear velocity due to rotation is, see here it is, its angular momentum is like this, omega in this direction. So in this direction will be VR. The tangential velocity here will be in this direction because omega is rotating clockwise. It is rotating clockwise. Therefore here VR will be in this direction. And here VR is equal to R omega. This R is nothing but here capital R omega, and this is to left hand side. Therefore minus. Say this is to VCM is to right hand side, therefore plus, and VR here is to left hand side, therefore minus, plus R omega minus R omega, that is equal to 0. That's why this PO, particle at PO is momentarily at rest. Momentarily it is at rest. Now second, at position P2, so at position P1, at position P1. Again we write V is equal to VCM plus VR. Here VCM, this will have VCM plus VR. So VR means VR is equal to R omega. VR means R omega. See here VCM, see here at position P1. So at any place VCM is having the same value R omega. At any place VCM is R omega, and this is to right hand side, therefore plus. Next VR. VR is equal to R omega. So from here to here the value is capital R. Therefore R omega. So here we see both are same. Therefore VR is equal to VCM. Therefore here in place of VR also you write VCM, so that you get 2 VCM. So at position P1 the velocity of the particle is 2 VCM.